I'll be like in an Uber and the driver will be like, oh man, there's so many hot chicks around here, like where are the chicks at tonight or whatever it is. And it's like, it's so easy to be like, uh-huh, yeah, and just kind of like ignore it. It's kind of gratifying to be like, oh, well, actually, I don't know because I'm gay. Where are the dudes? I'm Gus Kenworthy, and I'm a gay man. I probably first knew that I was gay when I was about 5 years old, but I didn't even understand what that meant at all. I just knew that something was different about me than my brothers, and because I was afraid of being different, that became my secret. And I think that when I was 14 or so, I really actually tuned into what that meant and understood who I was, but I wasn't ready to accept it at all. When I started skiing professionally, I definitely pushed myself further and further into the closet because I was so scared that if I said the wrong thing, did the wrong thing, the wrong person found out that I was gay, that it would all be taken away from me. And there's just kind of a culture within free skiing that's surrounded by the partying and the hooking up with girls, and the language that everyone uses is really homophobic. Anything that's bad, the judging, the weather, the course, everything's gay. Anyone compliments you, they sort of follow it up with no homo. Like the snowboarders call the skiers skier fags. And so for me, I just was like, oh my God, I'm never gonna be able to come out because these people are crazy and hate me. And the first time that I actually started telling my friends was when I was 22 years old. It was right after the 2014 Olympics, and I had actually been really desperate to tell my best friend Bobby. We were sharing a room at the Olympics, and there was all this anti-LGBT legislature in place, and I really wanted to just open up and tell him, but I was so scared that I was gonna ruin his Olympic experience. So I didn't tell him, and then right when the games were over, I came out to him and his girlfriend, and it was very emotional. I was crying, and they were like, we know. And I was like, what do you mean that you know? And they're like, yeah, we know. We've been waiting for you to tell us. And it kind of gave me the confidence to start telling other people. I told a couple other friends. I told my mom. She was having a nap on the couch with my dogs, and I went and woke her up and was like, I have to tell you something. And she's like, what? And I just immediately started crying, and I was like, I'm gay. And she's like, I know. And I was like, okay, well, why have you never said anything? And she was like, because I really wanted you to tell me. I didn't want to pressure you into telling me, and I didn't want to ask you if you weren't ready to talk about it. It just gave me so much more confidence moving forward to want to tell other people, and with each person I told, I felt this massive weight being lifted off my shoulder, and it just made me feel so good, so real, and I had never ever felt that. And then I basically kind of decided that I wanted to do it publicly, and I wanted to come out in a big way and hopefully help people who were in a similar situation to me when I was a kid and not feeling like they had someone to identify with. So I came out publicly in October of 2015 on the cover of ESPN. The day that I came out on the cover of ESPN, it was on SportsCenter and stuff, but one of the most impactful things that happened that whole morning was that a skier who had said some really horrible things to me in the past, jokingly, called me and just was like, I'm so sorry for anything I said, and I just feel so bad that I might have made your life harder for you. And it was actually really meaningful. It was the most meaningful thing that happened that whole day. Growing up, I dreamed of competing in the X Games, and on TV at the X Games, it always shows each athlete's girlfriend at the bottom, and the camera loves to cut to them and get their reaction while they're watching. And every year when I finally did make it to the X Games and I was competing there, they would come up during practice and say who's here? Is your girlfriend here? What's her name? And I was always like, oh no, I don't have a girlfriend. And meanwhile, my boyfriend was there and watching practice, and I wanted to be I don't have a girlfriend, but my boyfriend's name is Robin, and he's gonna be at the bottom. And I was just too scared to do that. And then our relationship ended when I was kind of actually coming out and publicly out. And then I met my boyfriend Matt, and we got to share that experience and have him be on TV. And he didn't even want to be, and I was like, no, you are. I've wanted this for a long time. You're on TV. And I got to have it, and it said Matt Wilkes, Gus's boyfriend, and it was amazing. It was a first for ESPN, and it was really cool. Yeah, and then this year at the Olympics, there was a kiss that was broadcast internationally and made a big wave, and it's so funny because it was the most insignificant kiss ever, and I didn't know that it was on camera, and if I had known, it would have been a way better kiss. But it was just this tiny, minute moment. But I'm so glad that it was being broadcast, because I think that as a young kid, I didn't really feel like I had anyone to look up to in sports, any out athletes that I could relate to. Having a kiss between two guys on TV at the Olympics would have changed the course of my life. I think I really would have like had my eyes opened and my heart opened and come to terms with myself a lot earlier. This photo is amazing. This is my first dog, Mac. My dad took me to get him when I was 11 years old. So this is actually probably pretty close to when I got him. And he was my best friend. I guess he was actually the first person that I told I was gay, because I remember whispering it to him and being like, don't tell anyone. Like, he didn't. And I think that I would have told that younger person not to be so afraid to let everyone else know that I was gay, because it's been incredible. I think if I could have told my younger self, like, just wait, when you're older, you're going to be out and proud, and you're going to have a boyfriend, and you're going to be so excited to share yourself authentically with the world, and it's going to make a difference for other people. I think it would have given that young kid a lot of confidence moving forward.